If you guys aren't catching anything with the top 5 soft plastic baits that I'm going to be covering with you guys out in the Everglades right now, it's going to be a very slow outing for you. Welcome back to another episode of Bassa with Captain Lou. Hopefully my dads out there had a very special Father's Day. I know I did. I mean, check out this shirt. Check out what my kids gave me right here. I mean, this shirt is hilarious. Look at this. I mean, they get me. They get me. But either way, hopefully you guys had some special gifts of your own. And if you care to share down below, go ahead and comment down below and share with me what gifts your kids gave you, because I enjoy reading those things. But anyways, the point of this video is one of our subscribers reached out to me and asked, Cap, can you share with me your top 5 soft plastic baits that you throw during the summertime out in the Everglades? With a request like that, I could not pass it up. Our weather's still kind of suspect, so I came out here to the backyard and I got out my top 5 and I brought out my top 5 soft plastic baits. But you guys are in for a treat because I'm actually going to be covering my top 6. My number 5 and 6 were neck and neck, and I didn't want to leave it out because it probably could help one of you guys out there. So you know what? It's going to be my top 6 soft plastic baits that I use out in the Everglades. So before I continue with the video, I just want to let you guys know I'm not going to be covering rigging, I'm not going to be covering rods or lines or any of that good stuff. I'm going to be covering all those things on separate videos because each of those are great topics that I want to specifically talk about. So today's video is going to be specifically my top 6 soft plastics, why I use them, where I use them, and all that good stuff. So let me go ahead and quickly dive in and start with my number 1. Now the reason this bait is my number 1 is because I always have it tied on, first of all, but it's usually one of the first soft plastic baits that I throw first thing in the morning when I'm fishing. And why is that? Because I get to test the bass's mood right away, and I also get to cover a whole lot of water very quickly. And that is, the bait that I'm talking about is the swim bait. I'm not going to be talking about all the different brands and stuff like that. This happens to be a Gambler Easy Swimmer. I do throw some other brands as well, but this one right here happens to be in the 5-inch range. This is a very general type of size for me. I get to cover, like I said, I get to cover a lot of water. It is it's the best length I find is the 5-inch is the best length to start things off with, because again, I get to test the bass's mood. The other thing is, what allows me to do is I get to throw this guy in heavy cover, and I get to work this lure in the heavy cover. And trust me, if this bait is on the menu, the bass will quickly let me know that they want this. And then I'm off to the races, because you could catch a lot of big bass and a lot of bass very quickly in the morning if this is on the menu. So other than covering a lot of water with this, I love this bait because they come in an assortment of colors, and I get to match the hatch. Okay, this color right here, it's no stranger to South Florida. Junebug is one of the go-to colors, it's no secret. But again, these type of baits come in an assortment of colors, and it also comes in an assortment of sizes. Okay, this size that I'm showing you guys right now is the 5-inch size. These things come up to 3.5 inches and up to 7 inches. But this guy right here, I like it because it's the perfect size. And again, besides covering a lot of water, I also get to cover different aspects of the water column. I get to fish this guy up top, I get to fish it in the middle, and I also get to fish it on the bottom. Now, after covering the water column and changing up the speeds and doing all these different things, if you don't get bit within the first 15, 20, or 25 minutes of throwing this particular bait, then I strongly recommend my number 2 bait. And my number 2 soft plastic bait, again, it's no stranger to my channel. I mean, last year my 25-pound bag was caught in tandem with a hollow body frog and this particular bait. And the bait that I'm talking to you guys about is the speed worm. In this case, this happens to be the mega speed worm, but there's two classes of sizes. You got your regular speed worm, which is a smaller speed worm, and then you got your mega speed worm, which is this one right here. This happens to be a CPF thumper. So take a hint on the color. Like I talked earlier, Junebug is a go-to color. But again, I'm not talking about colors, but hint, hint, Junebug is something you need to be throwing. But nonetheless, the thumper type of mega speed worm. And why do I like these type of worms? Why? Because they displace a lot of water, make a lot of noise, and I also, similar to the swim bait, I'm able to cover a lot of water, especially in a lot of cover. You get to throw this guy, if you do it, I know I wasn't gonna be talking about rigging, but if you do a Texas rig type of rigging to this and you hide the hook well, you get to throw this guy in a lot of slop, you get to make a lot of noise, and if the swim bait is not on the menu and you're throwing in slop, this guy may probably be your next best choice because they absolutely hammer the speed worm. So my number 3 soft plastic bait. If the swim bait is not getting the job done, the speed worm's not getting the job done, then I'm going to go with my number 3 soft plastic bait, and that is the fluke. The reason why this bait is my number 3 is because of the versatility of this bait. I mean, it mimics the forage so well. I mean, its erratic swimming action just gets the fish's attention. I mean, you could fish this bait quickly, you could fish it slowly. Again, you could rig it so many different ways. You could fish it on the top of the water column, the middle, you could fish it along the bottom, you could fish it in deep cover, you could fish it in open water. I mean, the sky's the limit on fishing with this particular lure, and that's why it's my number 3. You will always find it tied on one of my rods because this one just flats out catch fish. It also catches big fish, and it catches you a quantity amount of fish, a good quality and quantity amount of fish. And again, if you're fishing 15, 20, 25 minutes with this guy right here, regardless of the color, you can mix around because there's so many colors of this, but if you're trying various colors and you're fishing all along the water column and everything like that, and you're not getting bit, then I'm sorry to tell you it's gonna be a very slow outing. But this is why this video is my top 6, because if they're not hitting this, then I'm gonna quickly move to my number 4. And my number 4 does catch a lot of fish and catches a lot of good fish. So stick around, I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in regards to that one. Now, a couple of years ago, I gotta be honest, this would not have made my top 5 list because I was so reluctant on fishing this bait. Up until about a year ago, a very good friend of mine was extremely persistent that I fished this bait, and I was extremely reluctant. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was reluctant to really fish this bait until I completely surrendered and I gave it my full and undivided attention. And without further ado, I mean, you guys know I love dragging things on. It's it's the stick bait. I know a lot of you guys are groaning right now because like, especially the Senko. You say Senko, even more people are gonna groan, and that's okay too, because I was part of that group. But let me tell you guys, this stick bait catches so many fish in such tough situations. Again, I'm not gonna go into the specifics on how to fish it and all that other stuff and how to rig it. I'm just letting you know that it's part of my top 5 and it's my number 4. I mean, if you're coming across slow conditions, you throw this guy on and it may turn around your day, okay? Again, these baits come in an assortment of colors, they come in an assortment of sizes. This happens to be the 5-inch version. The 5-inch is my general size of soft plastic stick bait, and when the going gets tough, I hate to say it, I throw the stick bait and it turns my day around. But the beauty about bass fishing is that some days, and trust me, some days, this guy is not even remotely on the menu. You will throw it slowly on the bottom, you will move it up top, you will throw this to death and you will not get a bite. Trust me, it's happened to me. But fortunately, I have a follow-up bait that I use that if I'm not getting bit with this soft plastic, this stick bait, then I'm gonna be throwing this guy next. And this guy right here gets me out of a lot of bad situations. And this guy right here is the centipede, or the French fry, okay? This happens to be the Zoom centipede. Different brands make their own different versions of these guys. But this little 4-inch worm right here, when things got really, really bad for me, I went ahead and put this guy on and it turned my day around. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that I started catching monster bass or anything like that, but I started catching fish. I started catching bass. This guy right here gave me the confidence boost that I needed, because let's be honest, some days you go out there and you think you're the man, and these bass will quickly humble you and you're left scratching your head rethinking how good of a fisherman you are. But I gotta tell you, this guy has gotten me out of so many jams, and the reason for it is because it's just a very subtle finesse type of soft plastic. I like fishing this with very, very light weight on very, very light line. I let it go ahead and work its way slowly down the water column, and trust me, sometimes this bait right here is too hard to pass up for bass, and you will get bit very quickly, okay? If some of these other baits aren't working, you'll get bit very quickly with this guy, especially on a very slow, hot day. If you move it slowly along the bottom, this guy right here gets bit. So now, my number 6 bonus bait, meaning if the swim bait doesn't work, speed worm doesn't work, fluke doesn't work, stick bait doesn't work, centipede doesn't work, then my number 6 is the trick worm. The trick worm and the centipede for me go hand in hand. That's why I needed to include this guy. But something about the aspect of the dynamics of this particular worm in the water, sometimes bass just can't resist, and it could take you out of a fishing funk. Again, this guy right here, you can fish it in various different ways. The way I mainly fish this guy is I T-rig it with very light line on a very light weight. I let it move down the water column. I let it settle on the bottom, and I just simply slowly work this bait. And I don't know what it does, but sometimes it does what it takes to get the fish going, and it helps boost my confidence. And that's why I couldn't pass up by showing you guys the trick worm. Again, these type of worms come in various sizes, in various lengths rather. They come in this standard length, or they come in a shorter length, and they come in a whole assortment of different colors. So you guys get to play around and mess around with the different colors that work for you. So there you have it, my top 6 soft plastic baits that I throw out here in the Everglades. If you guys found the information helpful, please go ahead and don't hesitate and hit that subscribe button down below. And also don't forget those notification bells. If you want to learn the video that got so much traction over the last week or so in regards to rigging the soft jerkbait, this guy right here, I strongly recommend you guys watch this video right here. You guys want to watch the video that I mentioned earlier that I caught that 25-pound bag using the speed worm, go ahead and check out that video right there. But in the meantime, like this video, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys again soon. Take care of yourselves.